Well, good afternoon, everyone, and I would like to call to order the May 2024 Surrey Police Board meeting. And before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we're working on the unceded and traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, and we are grateful to them for this. And just before we start, Melissa, I would just like to just make a few comments before we begin. Last week, of course, we learned the results of the judicial review, and of course, I'm very pleased with the results. The clear decision of Justice Liu is a launching point for the next phase of this transition, and that is for a smooth change of command, which, as we all know, is scheduled for November 29th, 2024. And I'm hoping that now we can all move forward in the best interest of public safety and in the best interest of the residents and businesses in this fast-growing city here in Surrey. I'm also hoping that all partners, including the city, will come to the table and we can start working together. One of the key benefits of an independent municipal police service is the ability for city councils to help shape a service delivery model. And it's necessary to get input in order for the Surrey Police to build a strategic plan that meets the needs of the public that we serve. We're waiting for a decision by the Director of Police Services regarding our 2023 and 2024 budgets. But in the meantime, we do appreciate the support of the provincial government in ensuring that we're able to continue to build the Surrey Police Service and be prepared for the change of command on November 29th. And Chief Lipinski, I know that we have a budget presentation on the year-to-date spending and as well as an update on the transition from you. But before we move on to the agenda, is there anything you would like to add regarding the next phase?
Yes, thanks very much, Mr. Chair. As you know, we have a very solid team of subject matter experts from various police services, and they are working on the critical path towards a change of command. The people doing this work have actually decades of police experience, and I'm confident that with the leadership of these experts and the collaborative relationship with staff at the province and the RCMP, that the change of command will be smooth. Mr. Chair, I certainly echo your hope that the City of Surrey comes to the table. I think it's fair to say that in order to build the best policing model for Surrey, we need their input. We must plan together for the future. As we know, Surrey is going to be the biggest city in the province, and SPS will need to be there as well with that aspect of growth. We are just beginning to ramp up our recruiting for the front line, for critical positions, for investigative positions, for JIBC recruits, and also civilian roles. All of this is important for the change of command, but also to ensure a very efficient transition. I believe we are moving into a positive, constructive chapter in our history. I know there are people from across BC and Canada who are interested in coming to Surrey Police Service. And now that we have a clear path forward, I look forward to welcoming new and experienced police officers as well as skilled civilians to our team. Finally, I want to take this opportunity to thank the province for their continued support in giving SPS the stability we needed to continue to build for the future. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Chief, and congratulations to you and your team. I know that it's been very, very busy times, and I'm just truly impressed with the expertise of people I've spoken to, and I know we have some very busy months ahead, and working together with the RCMP and the city and the province to build this transition and be ready for the 29th is your number one focus. So with that, Mel, I will transition it over to you, please, to work us through the agenda.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The adoption of the agenda. Are you happy with the agenda as it is presented? You're on mute. Sorry.
Thought I'd get through one of these meetings without that, but yes, I have reviewed the agenda and it's adopted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And adoption of the minutes from the April 25th, 2024 meeting.
Yes, we're also adopting those as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're on to presentations. So Chief Lipinski, I'll turn it over to you to introduce our guests.
Yeah, thanks very much. First of all, I want to say this. As we build our community policing model for Surrey, it's so important for us to be engaged with the community. And when I say community, I mean not only individuals, citizens, but also businesses, societies, all kinds of groups. And why that's important is that policing, community wellness is a shared responsibility. We all have to work together to not only reduce crime, but to have wellness in the community. And that's so important in so many domains that at some future point, I'll bring to the open portion of the board meeting additional presentations that explains that in detail. But today we have the Great Light Healing Community Services Society with us, who do some really, really great work. And we want to continue that relationship. And I'll ask Gail, who's been in touch with them, to introduce them. And they have a short presentation, and then we'll open it up to questions and comments. Thank you. Gail, over to you.
Thank you, Chief and Mr. Chair. I'm very happy to introduce to you Ian Irabagange and Nishante Pushpanathan. Hope I got those close to right. As the Chief mentioned, they're with the Great Light Healing Community Services Society, and they're going to talk to us today about the excellent work that they're doing with youth in the community under their Passion for Youth program. So Ian and Nishante, please, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Gail, Chief Lipinski, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much, myself and my colleague Nishante. We are very pleased and excited to join you guys today for this meeting and to share a little bit about what we're doing with Passion for Youth and also our partnership with Surrey Police Service. So without further ado, I'm going to kick things off. I'm just going to share my screen here. So we'll go full screen. All right, can everybody see my screen okay? Yeah, awesome, thank you. So as we said, we are Passion for Youth, and we are a subdivision of Great Light Healing Community Services Society. And so we're going to talk a little bit about our history. But just a general overview of the presentation today. We're going to start off with a little bit on who we are and our history, and we'll share our mission, vision, and motto statements, and then we'll get into what we do. So a little bit of a program overview on the different programs we offer.
And then we're going to talk about community engagement, the kind of things that we've been doing. We'll touch base a little bit about our partnership with the Surrey Police Services, and a little bit about how we can get, how you guys can get involved with what we're doing and vice versa, and how one might be able to go ahead and make contact with us.
So to kick things off, who we are. So we are Passion for Youth, and we are a youth initiative operating under Great Light Healing Community Services Society. The abbreviation is GLHCSS. And Passion for Youth was developed with deep passion to salvage and rescue at-risk youth in order to give them a better future. And we help all kinds of youth, but our main focus is youth that are from challenging backgrounds, such as stagnant youth, unmotivated youth, homeless, and those that may be in trouble with the justice system. A little bit about our history. So in 2010, our president and vice president, along with board members, they met and they started to create the general framework for the programs that we offer today. And in 2015, they started running pilot projects, and these pilot projects were mainly different projects around social events, reaching out in the community, social events such as community lunch meetings, youth-specific activities that includes sports events, performing arts events, career development. And they also tested different initiatives around counseling and mentorship to try to see, to really focus on a holistic approach. So not just organizing events, but also setting up platforms where they can meet with youth one-to-one and offer counseling and mental health support as well. And these pilot projects were conducted with very successful results. And as of 2020, our founders decided to incorporate GLHCSS. And in 2022 is when Passion for Youth, our fundraising campaign under the name Passion for Youth officially began. And as of 2023 is when we launched our partnership with the Surrey Police Service. So our mission, vision, and motto, our mission at Passion for Youth is to provide transformative coaching and mentorship services, social enterprising, career development, intensive outreach, life skills, and sustainability programs to keep youth out of the streets and to keep the streets out of the youth. And our vision is to coach and mentor today's youth through transformative and holistic approach for better and a bright future for tomorrow's leaders. And our motto is think youth, think bright future. We'd like to share a few stats with you as well. Over the last few years, 250 to 300 youth are serviced every year. And these are youth that not only participate in our programs, but also participate in our events, community events that we organize throughout the year, and which we will talk about later on in this presentation. And about 75% of the youth that we work with are racialized youth. So those coming from the Black community, Latin, South Asian, those groups. And so an overview of the programs that we offer, and also the process through which youth go through. So the first step is what we call, the first step is what we call intensive outreach. And this is to create a social safety net for displaced youth in a displaced world by fostering a safe environment where youth can thrive. The second step is what we call counseling and therapy. So our counseling and therapy programs are designed with a focus on youth to offer personalized advice and insights from experienced professionals here at Passion for Youth to help them improve their mental health and live fulfilled lives. So these are really one-on-one personalized counseling supports, mental health supports. And once they go through that to see where they're at in their life, where they're at mentally, then we go on to the next step, which is education and training. And this is to provide education and training for youth to explore a wide range of academic support and skills training that we offer here at Passion for Youth in order to set them on the path to success. And last but not least, we have what we call mentorship and coaching. So our experienced mentors and coaches will bring a wealth of knowledge, skills, and leadership in order to help the youth reach their goals. So once we understand where they're at, what is their goals, what is their aspirations, what it is that they need, it could be education and training, or maybe they may already have that education and training, but they need some extra support. They need some coaching. It could be with life skills. It could be with career development, entrepreneurship. So these are just the main pillars. And then within that, we have several other programs as well that branch out of these main categories. And this is what we call impact statements. So these are just a few of our youth that have shared their own personal experiences with Passion for Youth and benefiting from the services here. So one has said, Passion for Youth has positively impacted my work ethic and confidence the most, learning to be responsible and to work well with others. Another one said, Passion for Youth has helped me to keep busy and to be productive instead of drinking and doing drugs. So just to share with you guys a little bit on what some of our youth have to say. And again, this is just very few of them, but as you can see, many of them do genuinely benefit from these programs. And a lot of times they come back to help other youth as well. So it's almost like youth that have been helped, they come back to now help other youth as well.
So next, we're going to talk about community engagement. As you probably already know, we're big on community outreach. Where we make effective connections with community partners, also building awareness for our mission. So we have various programs that we participate in as well as sports tournaments with multi-league games, which is a group that kind of organizes sporting events under Passion for Youth. So this is to unite the youth in competitive environment, but at the same time raising funds to support our programs. So it's a fun way for you to get involved in sports and have fun, but at the same time do it for a great cause. Next, we also have our community events. That picture that you see there is from our Connect with Passion meetings that we've have every Saturday. This is an avenue for us to foster meaningful connections and engage conversations that empower youth and community alike. So that's a way for the youth to kind of use the tools that they've gained through our programs and stuff and have a sense of belonging within the community and also to participate in these kinds of things. It's a very liberating and very fun environment. Next is our partnership with the Surrey Police Services, which is with you guys. Our goal with this is to harbor a meaningful strategic partnership where we can all work towards the same goal, which is to foster a safe and effective environment where youth can thrive and become tomorrow's influential leaders. And how we are working towards this goal is actually to encourage more police presence at our events, to normalize, because I know that a lot of youth these days don't really have a perceived support with the police or their perception. So we're just trying to demystify those things by creating more presence and also developing an effective referral process and leveraging each other's capacities for effective service provision. A few ways for to get involved with us. We're big on volunteering. Actually, most, if not all of our services are done on a volunteer basis. And that's why we focus a lot more on donations and stuff, because we've had funding before for GLA CSS for a couple of other programs geared towards seniors. But right now we're in this, that's why we're doing a lot of the fundraising we're doing. And number three, big on the partnerships, which is with you guys as well as a few other organizations as well, just to kind of join hands together, because at the end of the day, to help the youth or to our community is definitely a joint venture. So that goes into how you could participate with us or get involved. We do have a few upcoming events that would love to have some participation in, which is starting with our Passion for Youth charity golf tournament. It's happening this July. It's been planned for the last 2 years. Basically, there's sponsorship opportunities, a way for people to get out and play some golf. There's a fantastic, I think, 5-course meal. Also, there's a hole-in-one contest where I think Jim Pattison gave us a 2023 Toyota Tacoma, so hole-in-one contest. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Following in August, we have our multi-league soccer tournament returning back for the second time. Yeah, this is a 2.0 version. The first one was really exciting. A lot of people really joined and had a lot of fun. So that's happening on August 17th at Newton Athletic Park. Lastly, for this fall, the basketball tournament is also returning back for another tournament, and that's going to be in this fall. So it's the date's yet not fixed, but you could definitely check it out, as we're big on social media. So all of our updates will be going on our Passion for Youth Worldwide platform.
And just to kind of wrap things up, we'd like to end on this note. This is a quote that we like to reference often, and it's from Lyndon B. Johnson. And it says, "There are no problems we cannot solve together, and very few that we can solve by ourselves." And we like to reference this quote often because we believe that it really sums up the heart, the soul, the passion behind what we're doing with Passion for Youth, that it's not something that we can do on our own. And that these problems that we're trying to deal with among youth in our society, in our communities, it's not just the problem of one youth or of one family. It affects the whole community. And we cannot do it on our own. And so we need different hands to come together for us to support each other in order to better the lives of our youth so that we can better our future as well.
Awesome. So next is these are a few of our funders and partners that worked with us in the past. The Canadian government did give us some grants for our seniors programs for under GLA CSS. But there you guys are right there among us as well. So thank you for that. And the next slide is just a few highlights about a few of our events that we've ran in the past. Soccer tournaments. We're also big on giving youth a platform to kind of share their skills and talents as well. So oftentimes you'll see like dance crews or like different types of entertainment happening at our events. So it's just not sports alone. There's food, there's a lot of exciting things just to kind of bring everybody together, and then chance to win some prizes, trophies, and things like that as well. So there you have it. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. There's some information there if you want to contact us. Our email is also there, info@passionforyouth.com, and you can definitely reach out to us via our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook at Passion for Youth Worldwide. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Ian, in a sense, for the presentation, and I can't say enough about what you're doing. I truly believe our investment has to be in the youth and the work that you're doing to engage with youth. And I love the fact that it's a lot of sport based, dance and getting kids involved, and that's just such a great way to do it. I'm really proud to see that the Surrey Police Service is proudly part of this important work that's being done. So, Chief, I'll before I ask a couple questions, I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, well done, guys. Question for you on the funding and government grants. Expand a little bit on that for me. You've gotten some grants for the seniors program. Are you applying for other grants, whether provincially or federally? And what else do you do for the fundraising? I know you do the charity golf tournament and you do some other things there, but expand on that.
Yes, sir. Very good question. So, first of all, so myself and Nishante, we're not part of the grant writing and grant writing team. So our knowledge to that is limited. But what I can say to answer your question to the best of my ability is that a lot of the funding that we've received is funding that has gone directly to our parent organization, which is Great Light Healing Community Services Society. So programs such as the seniors program, we've had funding for youth employment as well, different employment placement opportunities. But within the scope of Passion for Youth, most of what we've been doing is really self-funded. It's people within our organization that really were investing into it ourselves. And we see, I mean, the first year it was kind of working out, but we see that this has been growing and we've been enjoying some very positive feedback, some good success. And we see that for us to reach our goals and to take this to a larger scale, we cannot continue the way we're going. And so one of the things that we're trying to do with Surrey Police is we talked about leveraging each other's capacities. So obviously, as the police of the city of Surrey, you guys have a much larger platform and capacity to help us in terms of getting the grants, getting the funding. So so we do want to work with you guys. We believe we've been in talks a lot with Sergeant Dale Queering, I believe and also Sergeant Michael Grandia. And they're helping us, and a few other officers as well. And they're helping us to get these grants going and get it out there so that we can get the proper funding to take this to the next level.
Very good. Thank you. One more question, Mr. Chair. So I see or I hear from my police officers that it's growing. And I know you have a very strong social media component. And I'm assuming that there's more and more coming and there's more and more demand for your services. Can you just talk about that for a moment?
Yes. So do you want to maybe answer?
Yeah, so we're like we're getting a lot more volunteers and things going on. Like even our events are attracting more youth just to know more about our programs and services. But we're also on some referrals as well. So in that capacity, we do get a lot of youth coming in, like new youth as well.
Got it.
So
Okay.
yeah, we are definitely expanding.
Okay, great work. You guys give a lot of yourself, so kudos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ian Asante, just wondering about referrals. So you talked about the Surrey Police Service being able to do referrals, which I think is outstanding because certainly they come into contact with youth that need supports. But where are some other places that you're getting some referrals from?
Yes, that's also another good question. Thank you. So with Surrey Police, they've through that partnership, we're also being connected to MCFD, and so there are some probation officers from there we're working on them sending us some referrals. We've had a couple of meetings in the last few months for us to see how we can build that process. So we're expecting some referrals from them. And also recently, we just started collaborating with Surrey School District. There's a partner that we have there, and she works a lot with, similar to us, a lot with youth who are dealing with substance abuse problems. And so they have a program there, but some of them, they need a little bit more support. And so they like to refer some of those youth to us as well. And also a lot of what we do too is just word of mouth, and youth that we've helped within our programs. They're also bringing other youth to come and take advantage.
Okay. Good. Thank you for that.
No, thank you, gentlemen. The work you're doing is amazing, and I want to thank you for that. Just Chief, one quick question, then we'll move forward. Is the community unit, community first unit, and I saw them in some of the pictures there. Do you mind just briefly explaining what that unit is, because it's not something that's in every police service?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So we have a small contingent of people, our police officers in Community First Unit, and their mandate is to go out and directly engage with the community. That is their full-time job, to build relationships, to understand all the various community groups or the nonprofits. And then also very important here is to make referrals, cross referrals. And I found that the great work that they do, there's a lot of synergy that starts to develop. And people who haven't talked with other groups before start talking and exchange ideas and so forth, but also sometimes there's a better fit, especially among the youth, of going over to this program versus that program, etc. So they're out there every day, and they do some really, really great work. So thank you. Good question.
Well, I want to again thank you, Ian and Ashante, for the work you're doing. I mean, we have to invest in youth. You're getting them at the right time to kind of help them find their path forward, and I wish you nothing but continued success. And I'll take a look at that golf tournament for sure. There's no chance of that truck being lost in the hole in one contest with me, but nonetheless, we will. It's important. I want to hope that you can raise as much money as possible and help the kids. So thank you again for your presentation.
Well done, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Melissa, back to you, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We have no delegation requests, so we'll move on to consent items. We have one item under consent. Did you want to pull that, or should we move on to Chief Constable reports? Oh, you're muted again.
Thanks. No, I'm not going to pull anything at consent. We can move ahead.
Okay, thank you. Chief Constable reports. Number one, hiring, diversity, and deployment updates. Chief, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. In the materials, Mr. Chair, is a little bit of an outline of our recruit hiring, and we're certainly moving along very well in that regard. The number of seats that we get from the JI are always filled up by our recruiting team. And I want to bring your attention to towards the end of the report, we are 48% culturally diverse. And that's important as we look forward towards POJ and beyond, as we spool up the SPS. And I think it's important as a recruiting ground down the road is to tap into some of the youth that are in the various programs throughout Surrey, be it education or some of the good work that you've seen was done today. And we will then move them towards some volunteer capacity, and then we can move them into some other programs within the SPS. And hopefully, way down the road, some of these people become SPS recruits. That is the goal. And and it's certainly happened in many, many organizations. And I'd like to take that template and that model and employ it here in the SPS. So we're doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. And I know that building a police service that's reflective of the community is critically important. And I know your recruiting team is doing that. And it's great to see the numbers that you've achieved to date and the language is spoken. And yeah, I do agree with you that as you connect with more youth in the community, that you're going to build that interest that they want to serve in the community they grew up in. So thank you for that. We'll move on to the next report.
Okay, it's the finance report, and I've got our CFO, Nathan Wong, here, who will look at presenting that to you, Mr. Chair. Nathan?
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I'm going to share a few slides. Please let me know when you see it on your screen. Okay. So this report presents our 2024 year-to-date expenditures as of the end of April. Going into the next slide. Our 2024 provisional budget of 142 million is used as the reference throughout the report to compare our budget versus actual. So as a bit of background information, on May 6th, Surrey Council approved a total policing budget of 250 million in 2024, of which 28 million goes to City Police Support Service and 222 million is for police services. Of the 222 million, the split between the RCMP budget and SPS has yet to be determined. And in addition to the budget allocation from Surrey Council, the province of BC has also been providing direct financial support to SPS to move the transition forward. This includes supporting the cost of the recruits and experienced officers we have not been able to add to the city's payroll system. And as of the date of this report, and I believe is May 22nd, provincial grants to SPS has totaled $4.2 million. And then the financial summaries throughout the report are a consolidation of SPS expenditures based on data from both the city's financial management system and SPS own financial management system. At the end of April, our year-to-date expenditures total 28 million. That's approximately 20% utilization of our provisional budget. Our average monthly expenditures over the last 4 months is about 6.4 million. That expenditure rate is fairly consistent with our historical trends as we have been operating at status quo levels throughout the year so far. Our largest areas of cost is on staffing, about 24 million, which represents 93% of our operating costs so far. And other than maintaining the cost of salary and benefits, we have been fairly lean on other expenditures as we wait for a determination on the city's Section 27 review request, which is before the Director of Police Services at the moment. And in terms of the one-time policing transition fund, as of the end of April, we're at 2.2 million. And we had forecasted our budget for about 15.3 million. So there's about 14% utilization. So similar to our operating expenditures and our capital expenditures, we have been trending lower in this area as well as we wait for the province's determination on the Section 27 review. And this report was presented for information. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the update regarding the provincial contributions. I'm hopeful that, as we, continue to navigate this process and we are still waiting for the decision from the Deputy Minister regarding the 2023 and 2024 budget, that we'll be able to, to move forward and get back on the system within the city. Have you heard anything from the city? I know last I'd heard they're still not uploading our new staff members to their software system or their programs.
No, we have not received any indication that or heard from them that they're adding a new staff back at this point in time.
Okay, well, hopefully that will change in the near future and we can all come together and work on that and what those numbers are. One thing I did notice is, so right now to date, so the first third of the year, we're at about 20% of the overall budget. So slightly less than what we'd anticipate, roughly 33%. Do you anticipate now that, you know, we're really moving forward, the chief's moving forward with, you know, an aggressive hiring plan and building the service, that we'll see that start to change?
I think the rate of expenditure will start to increase as we hire more. But then our original provisional budget, we did have, like, our hiring plan was scattered throughout the year. So right now we're almost halfway into the year and we've been delayed on hiring a lot of the expenditures. So although the rate of expenditure will increase, the total expenditure throughout the year will likely be lower because we're already almost past halfway of the year.
So we're hiring individuals later than we anticipated because
Correct.
of some of the status quo decisions that had to be made, that will reflect some savings in our budget.
Correct. The cost will be prorated.
Okay. Chief, anything else that you wanted to add as we navigate this?
Yeah, our recruiting is just starting up, and we of course are working with the province and just started working with the RCMP for a plan. I'll address that in a moment, but I anticipate that our recruiting will start ramping up probably August, September, because of course, as you know, we have to take a little bit of time of having the marketing and going through the applications, and it takes time to process people.
Yeah, correct. And I know you're still working with the RCMP on you know, moving that transition forward. So and where those individuals will fit. So no, it's an exciting time as I'm watching you build the service and moving towards November 29th. For those looking to apply, experienced police officers, especially right now, we would very much like to see those applications and build the police service, the Surrey Police Service, for everything, you know, everything that's being put into it. So thank you, Nathan. Melissa, you may have froze there, but your report, we'll move on to the next report.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. So our next report is Chief Constable updates. Chief, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. Building on what Ian and Nisanth had presented, I'm just going to show you some photos of some of our community engagement. Go ahead with the first slide, please. This is our crime reduction unit, and we're taking part, of course, in many charities throughout Surrey. And next, please. And there's our members being involved in serving, and I can tell you the engagement, the enthusiasm that SPS has displayed has been notable, and my thanks for the members that participated in these various events. Next slide. Any event that is out there, and we have many requests, and we try and attend all of them in some way, whether it's our Community First unit, which is a full-time unit doing this type of work, or even our people on the front line when they have time. And as you know, it's very busy, but when they do have time, especially on weekends, on a Sunday, and there's events, they certainly drop in and say hello. Next slide. Thank you with that. The other part I want to mention, Mr. Chair, is because of the November 29th date and various meetings with the province, we are now just started to meet with the RCMP and representatives from the federal government. There's committees that are being formed, and we're starting to discuss the way forward, the path forward to November 29th. Again, it's just the beginnings of. I have to mention that there's two parts to this. The first part is the transition continues. We, of course, had a plan, and we continued to hire, albeit small numbers, and have those small numbers be deployed. We're going to continue to do that. But at the same time, starting now to plan towards November 29th, what needs to be done? And there is a lot. And then what needs to be done post November 29th and the amount of hires that need to take place. And that includes some civilian staff. That certainly includes a lot of frontline constables and sergeants, but we will also be looking at hiring investigators. And so putting that plan together, you will eventually see that once the various parties agree on a certain plan going forward. I look forward to bringing it here for transparency purposes to the public. And what we will be doing is hiring to the plan. So quite exciting about where we're going and the enthusiasm that we have working towards November 29th. That's my report. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Chief. I just think it's important to note when you speak of a plan, because you commented about bringing everyone together to be part of the plan. And I know a plan has evolved and has moved as the transition has gone forward. I know you've worked very hard on a plan, redeveloping and moving this plan forward for 2024. But I think it's just critical for everybody to know that a plan involves multiple parties. It's collaborative. There needs to be agreements and decisions made by the RCMP, the federal government, of course, the city. And I appreciate the work you're doing to bring everyone together, to collaborate, work together on a plan, and the work that you and your team have done to build a plan, and now the work you'll continue to do with the RCMP to work together on continuing to build and enact that plan. So I just think it's critical to say that it's not just an SPS plan. You've done a lot of work, but that plan requires a cooperation and support from all stakeholders in order to implement it. And the sooner, I think, again, the other critical point that we've talked about is the quicker we can implement the transition, the quicker we can implement the plan is certainly a cost savings for the community as we move forward in the transition as quickly and as safely as possible. So
agreed. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Melissa, I will return it back to you in the agenda, please.
Thank you very much. So we have three information items. The first is the Police Amendment Act that received royal assent. On this issue, on this item, there are some material changes that affect police boards around the role of the chair and how chairs are selected, how budgets are approved, and new rules around budget timing, as well as the need for boards to develop policies on handling service or policy complaints. So this is presented for your information. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Yeah, maybe just a comment. So the work on the police board, and thank you, Melissa, for all your work. You go absolutely over and above as the executive director of the Surrey Police Service board. So work continues. I know you're amending the policies, and to date, I've been asked what the plan is for the board. Certainly, police governance and oversight is critical moving forward, and I take the role of the administrator is critical in this transition. But to date, there's no update on when a board will be transitioned back. That's certainly a decision for the province to make. But just to know that a lot of good work continues, and when the board is reestablished, then certainly we'll be prepared, and I know you're prepared to have the board up and running really quickly and ready. And again, just to take a moment to thank the previous board as I continue to go through documents, and just the work that was done was incredible. The vast amount of work that needed to be done to get things started. So thank you, and we'll continue to move forward.
Thank you for that. Next, we have a letter from the BC Association of Municipal Chiefs of Police. Chief Lipinski, I'm not sure if you have anything to say about this. It's just advising that the BC AMCP is developing a position or discussion paper on regionalization. Chief, did you have anything you wanted to comment on this?
Yes, that is correct. So this is simply a discussion paper involving some researchers about the status or the feasibility or the opportunities that may be available in the future about regionalization. This is in fact one step from the recommendations of the all-party committee. And we as chiefs thought that we should explore this a little bit more formally and have those discussions. It is simply a discussion paper once it is completed. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. And I
Thank you.
know this was a recommendation from the SCORPA, the Special Committee on Police Reform. And I do think the chiefs here in British Columbia have an important voice on this, and I'm glad that it's being researched and a position or discussion will come out of that, because certainly you're well positioned to have an understanding on both the positive and negative impacts of regionalization and how best to move forward based on your recommendations. So thank you for that. And back to you, Melissa.
Thank you. Our last information item is an information bulletin from the IIO with respect to a file that involves Surrey Police. Chief, I'm not sure if you wanted to say anything about this or.
The IIO reviewed an incident that involved Surrey RCMP and involved Surrey Police Service members. And as a result of that review by the IIO, they are forwarding the file to the Crown.
Thanks, Chief. Appreciate the update. That doesn't necessarily mean that there will be charges. It simply means that they'll be reviewing the file and making a decision, the prosecution service. So
correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome. We have no correspondence, no new business. The next meeting is currently scheduled for June 26th, 2024. And then we'll move on to a closed meeting. So, Mr. Administrator, I ask for you to approve holding a meeting in a closed session pursuant to Section 69(2) C and D of the Police Act.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, everyone, for participating. And we will move this to the closed. Let's come back at 5 to 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you.